In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a few eBay stores, checking out what are some of the things that they're doing wrong, and maybe helping them optimize their store so they can start generating more sales on eBay. So we're going to be looking at a few parameters here that are really quite simple and are basic to understand. Things like title, things like photos, and things like product description. I know that may seem basic, but it's mastering those basics is really going to take you the long way when reselling on eBay. So I brought out a few stores that could use a little help with just their simple title structure and pricing and things like product description. So just doing those little things like making the title and structuring it how eBay wants us to structure it can really make the difference in finding your items in search. So let's not waste any more time and let's check out how we're going to be looking and reviewing these stores. And if you're wanting to have an eBay store review, just drop your store name in the chat and I will be able to take a look at it and go over what we can do to make it better. So we're going to be looking at things like title. So eBay gives us the parameters to be able to structure our titles correctly. And specifically in clothing, they say that they want you to do the brand, item, gender, size, followed with keywords. And if you look on eBay and you see a lot of those stores, specifically with clothing, you see titles everywhere. And if you are selling similar off of a lot of other people's listings, you're going to look at those titles and they're going to be everywhere. It's going to be Wrangler, outerwear, men's jeans, hiking. It's just all out of place. So if you're thinking in the mind of the buyer, how are the most common buyers searching for items? They're most likely not typing in a bunch of keywords. They're usually typing in something like Wrangler jeans, men's, size 25, size 23. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for simple ways to be able to found in search, and we need to be able to get into the mind of the buyer to be able to have our items found in search. And eBay gives you all that information. So photos, another way you can start getting ahead of the competition is just taking good, clear photos. And I'm not talking about buying a $3,000 camera to make it look more professional. If you're selling used items, you need it to make it look like they're getting a used item. Don't make your photos seem like the item is better than it really is. So things like editing your photos and removing the background and making it look super nice, it might lead the buyer to think that they're getting something better than the item actually is, especially if you're selling used clothing. You really just want proper lighting and color accuracy to be able to show the end buyer this is the color of the item and this is what it looks like. And you want the buyer to get your item going, wow, this is better than I thought it would be, especially if you're selling used items. So another reason why your items might not be selling is going to be price. Price is one of the main contributors other than title for your items to sell. If you're not structuring your titles correctly and you're misspelling words in your title, there is a good chance that your item may never be found in search. So title and then price. You may have the best title, but the worst price that falls out of that market demand. So simple supply and demand. You want to be able to comp your items within the market demand for your item to have a chance to sell. So I'm not going to be pricing Wrangler jeans outside of market demand. $46 for a used pair of Wrangler jeans, that's not going to work. The market demand is telling you what a buyer is willing to pay. And this fluctuates through time. So you really need to understand how to structure your titles and how to price your items, and then you could go into the other areas of improving your store, like condition and product description, offering free returns or some type of returns, and having some type of business policy. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. I just picked out a few stores. Smash like if you're getting value, and if you do want an eBay store review, just drop it in the comment section and we can go over it. So the first store This is a member in our Patreon, and he started with 86 items in his store. Was really trying to figure out how to do titles, how do I price my items. And look, just a few months later, he's sitting at 570 items, selling about 3 to 4 items a day. And just by applying these simple principles of fixing your title, taking better, well-lit photos, and describing your items properly, those simple basics will take you the distance in this eBay reselling world. Don't try to do anything fancy and anything out of the ordinary, but it's in those basics that are really going to make you a professional eBay reseller. Christy, hope you're doing well. How about Poshmark store reviews? You can drop them in the comment section. I could take a look at your photos. We could take a look at your titles. Quite different on how the search algorithm works on Poshmark, but definitely happy to take a look at it and see what we can do. So this person has been rocking it in his eBay store, listing about 10 items a day, and obviously trying to get to that goal of selling 10 items a day. So I just picked out a listing here of what he could be doing better. So I am all about structuring our titles to the most ability using those 80 characters. So I could tell right off the bat that the title needs to be worked on. Levi 559 jeans. So right away, it needs to be Levi's because it's misspelled right there. So Levi's 559 jeans, men's, followed by the size. And there's definitely a few more keywords that we could be using to help aid the buyer find this item. So you want to be using as many characters as possible to be able to accurately describe your item. Don't be filling out the title just to keyword spam and adding in just to fill it out, but try to sharpen and level up your keywords so you could be able to aid the buyer into finding these items. So great pictures. I think that the pictures can be straightened out a little bit just to have a little bit more of a presentable, professional look. But nonetheless, the lighting looks good. You have plenty of photos here, 14, 16 photos of the pockets, the measurement of the inseam, close-up of the inseam, the rise, the waist, close-up of the waist. You got the condition tag, you have the material tag. So really nice work here as far as like the clarity. I just think like the photos could be straightened out a little bit. And you definitely have plenty of photos there to really tell the buyer the story of the item. So working on the title and helping your photos become maybe a little more straight so they're more presentable. You're offering a 30-day returns, and buyer pays for return shipping. Very nice. And your condition description, this is the default on eBay when it says pre-owned. And you want to go into a little bit more of a one-liner, like have a sentence that at least describes the item. On mobile, and this is where 50 to 60% of people are buying products on eBay is through the mobile app. You don't want your condition description to be too long because it gets cut off. So you just got to get quick to the point. Mine is a very generic used condition, light signs of wear. Please see photos for exact measurements. And having something like that can help really tell the buyer, being transparent of really the condition of your item, because pre-owned doesn't really tell me anything. Well, does it have holes? Does it have stains? Is there any wear? You really want to know that from the end buyer's perspective, because you want to minimize returns, especially as a clothing seller. So your item specifics, having 8 there, 9 there, that could be worked on. Having more item specifics is going to increase the chances of your item being found and obviously being sold. So the more that you can refine your brand knowledge and being able to select the correct item specifics for your item to be found, that's going to give you that competitive advantage over other people that may be just doing the bare minimum. And most people on eBay are trying to do the bare minimum. So it won't take a lot to be successful on eBay. So I would just recommend adding a little bit more on your item specifics and then your item description as well. This doesn't really tell me anything. It just says Levi's. It just says the title, copy and pasted over. So You're going to want to go into, well, do you offer some kind of return policy? Do you offer, has it been washed? Has it been cleaned? What do I expect here when I receive this item? And you don't need to go super in depth on your product description. Just make a few pointers, some bullet points, so it's easy to read on the condition of the item. And do you offer free returns, your shipping, your eBay policies, and so forth. So you can really maintain that transparency to the end buyer, because a lot of people are just going to be wondering, and most people aren't going to reach out with questions on, where's their where. They're just going to move on to the next listing. So those are the things that I would work on in this store, just from this listing's point of view. But as far as the title structure is good, this is a good foundation, but I would just change the misspelled word and add some more keywords in there so you can be found in search. So the next store is New to You Thrift Shop, and 746 items. And I picked out this listing of this Vineyard Vines shirt. Very simple. And right off the bat, Vineyard Vines men's shirt, slim fit, Tucker plaid, Shep Ian, medium, blue, pink, white. Okay. So there's a few things out of order here that I would start to fix right away, is that I structure my titles Vineyard Vines shirt because most buyers are typing that in. And if you're typing in and structuring your titles how most buyers are searching for these items, it increases your chances for your item to be found. So would you be putting men's shirt, Tucker plaid, Vineyard Vines, medium, blue, pink, white? Most buyers aren't typing that in. So just that simple switch from Vineyard Vines shirt and then men's medium is how I would go about structuring that title. You have 4 photos here, and obviously, the more photos, the better. So you're going to want to take photos of measurements to help minimize returns. You're going to want to help really convey to the buyer what is it are they getting. One of the worst stores on eBay is the eBay store called ThreadUp that has over 11 million items on eBay, and they sell about 100 items a day. And the reason being is they have poor photos, poor titles, poor pricing, and at that sell-through rate, could you imagine the overhead just to be able to sustain 11 million items on eBay? And to have that poor of a sell-through rate, well, the main contributors are their title, their photos, their pricing. So if you're looking to scale on eBay, you're going to want to get those basics down from the start so you don't have to go back and correct all those mistakes. So photos, more photos. I take it between 12, bare minimum 12 photos per listing. Because remember, we want to think, how can I have a competitive advantage over other resellers? Well, you could take more photos. You could price your items better. You can make your titles better. So just doing those little things will rank your listing higher in search versus other people that are taking shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. So they took a picture of the tag, which is good. You want to take pictures of all tags. Even the material tag will even be that next step. But measurements are key, especially when reselling clothing. You want to have measurements because how does the buyer know if they're going to fit or not? So, and that's going to add in a few more photos to your listing. As well, your condition description. Pre-owned doesn't really tell me other than the item is used. I know it's used because I'm in the used clothing category. So tell me a little bit more. Is there stains? Is there spots? What is the condition? Is there wear? What's going on here? You want to be able to tell that to the buyer. So as we scroll down here, this person offers no returns. In my opinion, you need to offer returns because a buyer can still return an item even if you don't accept returns. So by accepting returns, you're already going to be ranking your listing higher than people who aren't accepting returns. But just for that info, if you're not offering returns on your eBay store, they could still return the item. So at least try to offer some type of returns and the buyer can pay for shipping, but offering that is going to get you ahead of people like this that do not offer returns. So great item specifics. This is what I like to see when I look at item specifics. I want to see ones that are filled out, but I also want to see ones that match. So they have a collar style button down. Is it a button down? Yes, it is. It is button front. So style, there is no item specific for button front under style. It's button up. So yeah, don't really know what's going on there. You really need to, when you're filling out item specifics, don't make up your own, or don't put NA. Don't leave them blank, like the required ones. You can't leave them blank anyways, but don't put something made up there. If it's not in the drop-down menu, don't fill it out. So if you're putting in blank item or making up item specifics, that can't be found in search, is not searchable at all. So, but at the very least, they have a good set of item specifics filled out, and their item description, it's a men's medium. They put the color, gently used, very good condition, fast free shipping. Okay, there's at least something there to work with to be able to tell the buyer, oh, okay, this is good. Something is better than nothing. And remember, you don't need to put this huge paragraph, and that's going to really discourage buyers to even read through that. They just want something quick and concise as they're shopping. So more photos, a little bit of some restructuring of the title, and offering some type of returns. That's really going to help you take the next step on your eBay journey. So yeah, hope everyone is doing well. If you want an eBay store review, just drop it in the comment section. Or if you have a question, just drop it in the comment section and I will get to it. I won't forget about you. So Friend Mercantile is another eBay store, around 1,500 items in their store. They sell a little bit of everything. I was just looking through this earlier and just looking at their sell-through rate and how they go about things. I picked out these Duluth trading jeans, trading company jeans, and similar thing to a Patreon that we have is like fixing the photos. So making them look at least somewhat straight, more professional, and it's just going to look better. So when the buyer is searching and scrolling for items, they want it to look presentable. So Duluth Trading Company pants is what I would put, or jeans. And then I would go men's, followed by the size. And all these keywords like weekender, ballroom, denim. I wouldn't even put size in the title because that doesn't matter. This, good keywords, but out of order. So Duluth Trading jeans, men's 3630, and then you could add on all the keywords that you want. So, because think of it, how many buyers are typing this in? How many do you think would be typing those exact keywords to search for some Duluth jeans? I don't know about you, but I don't think that many. And I think many more buyers would be typing in Duluth jeans. So just remember that. It's a simple concept, easy to understand. When you're doing your title structure, how is the common buyer searching for the item you're listing? Get in that headspace, and it'll take you a long way. Because eBay's algorithm is based, their search algorithm is based on how you structure your title. So that's going to be one of the first things, followed with item specifics. So good photos, I think just being able to maybe make them a little more straight, cropped in a little bit more. Whether you're doing a flat lay style, looks like they're doing a flat lay. You could do vertical flat lay, or you could just hang them on a hanger. Picture of the tag. I think the pricing is great for these being new with tags. $42.30, great, looks good. So that's right off the bat what I would do, and it looks like they're offering calculated shipping. And the problem with calculated shipping on clothing is going to be it. So for this type of jean, it's saying it's $22 shipped from Kentucky to me. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever paid $22 to have a pair of jeans shipped to me. So this is why you would need to figure out some kind of flat rate shipping for your item. I don't think anyone's going to pay $22 to have a pair of jeans shipped to them. So this is why calculated shipping in most cases for clothing is not going to be the right way to go. You want to be able to establish some kind of flat rate. So I would ship these for $8.95 shipped in a flat rate envelope, USPS priority, or a legal envelope. And eBay charges you $7.60 or $7.90 to ship that item. And you want to be able to develop some kind of flat rate shipping so you can help entice the buyer to convert into a sale. It's not going to be for me $22 to pay for shipping for these jeans. So I don't know what strategy they're using there. They offer 30-day returns. That is a positive. And item specifics look nice and filled out. Sometimes people just fill out extra things that really aren't necessary, like American, classic, dad, nature, outdoor for theme. I mean, I would just stick with one of those. Like I said, don't be keyword spamming in your item specifics and in your title, because you don't want to leave the buyer confused, and their description needs work. What is your return policy? What is it been? Where is it being stored? Some kind of guidelines to be able to help the buyer out. This doesn't tell me anything. It just tells me what I already know, the title. So those are those little things that we're really focusing on to help optimize your store and get better. Because when it all comes down to it, it really is all about those little things to make the difference in your eBay store. Bobby loves to thrift. Hello. Hope you're doing well, Bobby. Good afternoon from Northeast Ohio. Sorry, I'm on Poshmark also. Just getting back to eBay. I have 160 on Posh and 4 on eBay. No worries. How has Posh been doing for you? I've heard kind of some hit and miss things about it lately. I guess they put out a new feature where you could go live, and I hear a lot of people are getting their sales affected from this feature. So, I don't sell on Poshmark, but same kind of like principles apply, like title, photos, a good description, and pricing. And I don't know how you're pricing your items on Poshmark, but you want to be able to look up what is the demand for this item, so I'm not outside of that demand, so you can convert the sale. But yeah, hope you're doing well, and thanks for watching. And if you have questions, just drop them in the chat. So those little things on this store, Friend Mercantile, if you ever watch this, don't take it to heart. I love you. Just focus on those little things that I just said about this listing. Pish Posh CW is the next store, and this store is rocking. I think this store is kicking butt. As far as brands and photos, it's doing great. Now, getting to the main part of why we're doing this is we're looking at titles. We're looking at pricing. The photos look on point. They look great. They look professional. They have a condition description that looks great. Excellent condition throughout, showing holes, material, functional, or other issues. They win all out on that condition description. That's great. That's beautiful. Now, here's where I would fix this, is I would work on the title. So, J. Crew, washed and aged, brown, wax, canvas, utility jacket, women's, SZ period, M. So, they didn't even spell out the size. So, the thing here is, like, you can have the best items, which this store does. They have Diesel, they have All Saints, they have Foundry, they have great items. But to be able to maximize those items from going from point A to point B to the end buyer, you got to work on your titles. So J. Crew jacket, women's, medium, and then all of those other keywords afterwards. So I don't think any women are typing in, oh, I'm going to type in a J. Crew washed and aged brown wax canvas utility jacket. There's going to be a lot less of those searches than J. Crew jacket women's size medium. So keep that in mind when you're doing your listings. And if you're on Poshmark, the same should apply as well. Trying to figure out what is a buyer searching, and let me just type that in. So the photos look really great. I like the wooden background. There is, everything is clear. It looks good. You have the material tag. You have buttons, a close-up of the tag. These are all great things that are going to help you convert to more sales. So let's look at their item specifics. Style. Chore jacket is not a style, so that is another made-up item specific that's not under the drop-down menu. So, but yeah, good description. Tag size medium. Exterior measurements, laying flat. I mean, this is a great simple description. You don't need 2, 5, 20 paragraphs of legalese that no one wants to read. So good stuff just like this. You could take, you can take other stuff from other sellers and make it your own, but don't just straight up copy other sellers. Really change a few words, make it your own so you can apply something similar to this in your store. And they're offering returns. Very good. So that's kind of what I would work on. This is a great store. Really some good looking stuff. Let's see their sell-through rate. So they have 1,400 items in their store. Let's see how much they're selling a day. Really good sales would be 14 a day at a 1% daily sell-through rate. So today they've sold 1 item. Yesterday they sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They sold 7 items yesterday. The day before, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 items the day before. Okay, so with this good of a store, with this good of product, the two things that are really going to help you convert into going from 4 sales a day to 7 sales a day to 14 sales a day, which is what you would really want in this store with this type of brands, your titles and your price. So working on those things will really make you go from having, they have 1 sale today. They should be getting more than that with these types of items. Just looking at some of their title structures, it looks like they're really going keyword heavy at the start of their titles. And the common buyer isn't doing keyword heavy title structure. They're typing in Eddie Bauer jacket. They're typing in Levi's jeans. They're typing in Big Star jeans, 7 for All Mankind jeans. Just be in tune. Be conscious when you're doing titles, and don't make up stuff. Just do it. eBay even gives you a title structure sheet on how to structure your titles. So eBay is even telling you, hey, this is how to do it. And most people don't follow that advice, and they ask why after they have 10,000 items listing, why they're only selling 5 items a day. So Pish Posh CW, if you're watching, I love you. Just work on those little things, and you'll be taken off. And great store. Bobby loves to thrift. Yeah, the lives are hurting because of lives. I can't do lives because of new law in Ohio. Oh, I guess you need an auctioneer license. Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I hope that you get more sales, but I have heard the same, like people, that new feature and with the uptrend of whatnot, and eBay's now starting to do it with special categories. We'll see how that goes, but maybe a good reason to now jump onto eBay. So Tammy McDonald says, would it matter if you just add keywords in the description area only instead of the title? I say do both. You want to be able to have that structure of brand, item, gender, and then the size, and then add in all of the keywords that are going to accurately describe your item. So flat pockets, pearl snap, plaid, the material contents, polyester blend, collared, barrel cuff, point pockets, all these little things. And then you can take those keywords and put them in your description. But I'll tell you this, your product description is not searchable. only your title is searchable. Only the item specifics are searchable. So this is why my product description for my items is very simple, very plain. I don't put any keywords in my titles. I don't put anything but my policy. And if you look here, I will share it with you. You can see here's my policy. It just shows, and I don't even do this anymore, but I used to put the title down here. And it's just new with tags. Please compare the measurements in photos to ensure proper fit. Clothing is stored in a pet and smoke-free environment. 60-day free returns and same-day shipping. So that's what I put. It's very simple. No keywords. All my keywords that I'm going to be taking from the title are going to be put into my item specifics, because that is what is going to make it searchable. Let me bring up a used listing here. So these Levi's jeans, I can show you what a product description. So very simple. And I think bullet points are going to be a lot easier for your buyer to read. So this is my generic, and you can copy this. I don't care. This is my generic condition description. The description that would say, if you don't fill it out, it's just going to say pre-owned. What does that even mean? It can be pre-owned with, you know, it can be pre-owned and be any condition. So you want to be able to say something. So use condition with light signs of wear, no holes. And then I reconfirm to the buyer, please see photos for exact measurements, as size may differ from tag size. Especially when selling used clothing, you want to be able to put something like that. So when you do get a return, and if it's an item not as described, you have a case to make to eBay. I put this in twice in my listing. It is the buyer's responsibility to read the description before making the purchase. And you can get most of those overturned if you report the buyer. So having something like this, used condition with light signs of wear, no holes, and then please see photos for exact measurements, as size may differ from tag. Having something like that in your condition description, I know it might not seem like a lot, is really going to help convey to the buyer and communicate with them the quality of your item. So, and then all of this would be like your policy, your legalese. You know, if clothing is used, it is cleaned and inspected per eBay guidelines. Please note, item measurements are approximate and may differ from tag size. This is key, and you're going to want to be able to reaffirm this in your listing, because we all want to avoid as many returns as possible. And sometimes you will get returns that doesn't match description or photos, but it's really a doesn't fit return. Well, on the seller side, that's going to be a ding on your account where you're going to get a defect for an item not as described. But if you have measurements and if you have some type of wording in there to be able to tell the buyer they need to look at the photos to make sure it fits, then you're able to make a case to eBay and challenge that to be able to get that defect removed from your account. I even have it twice. I put previous washings may change the sizing. Please compare the measurements in the photos to ensure proper fit. And even though I do this twice, I still get returns for doesn't fit. It's okay. Clothing is stored in a pet and smoke-free environment. We offer a combined shipping discount for multiple orders, and then saying something about your shipping and your return policy is going to be the next step. Simple, effective, gets the job done, and you can save this as a template. So when the next time you do your listing, you just go into your templates and insert that. And then as you sell similar off your own listings, you should never even need to touch your item description unless if the condition of the item varies. You know, maybe it does have holes. You're going to want to remove no holes and put holes. If maybe there are heavy signs of wear, you're going to switch out light signs of wear with heavy signs of wear. Those little things. But it's going to be better than typing this all in and doing it over and over again. So copy it. I don't care. Whatever you want to do, screenshot it, put something in your listing similar to that, and I believe it's going to really help you speed up your listing process and help convert into more sales. So let's get into more questions. Bobby So Tammy, I hope that answered your question. So Poshmark is a weird short title on Poshmark works. Its search is messed up, has been for years. I've heard the same. I've seen successful Poshmark stores with just like 4-word titles. So quite different. I'm not too familiar with how the Poshmark algorithm works, and it seems like they're trying to experiment. And I just want to. The age of experimentation for me on eBay is just I found what works, and I just do that over and over again. I'm not experimenting because you find what works, and then you lean into what is working. For Poshmark, it might be hard to kind of gauge how can you get a competitive advantage if everyone's doing a little bit of different things. It's like hard to tell. So yeah, that's why I chose eBay, a little more structure to it. Bobby says, I have been off of eBay since 2003, sold 29,000 over the years. Not a lot, but really Poshmark feels like home. Yeah, Poshmark, the good thing about it is it's very easy, very user-friendly, easy on the buyer's end. So people are doing great on Poshmark. It's just, for me, having some kind of structure really helps me understand how to sell and what sells and what to pick up and what not to pick up. But people do great on Poshmark. Some people cross-list on Poshmark with great success. And there are some things that you might want to list on Poshmark that don't even sell at all on eBay. So that's kind of that, I'm not set in my ways of like, don't cross list and oh my god, you're listing on eBay and Poshmark, you're the devil. It's okay. We're really just looking to get our items in as front of as many people as possible and do what works for you. So it is very common to have an eBay store and a Poshmark store. Tammy says thumbs up. Good. Happy to help. Miss Lachey, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Hope the weather's doing. It's snowing here, so hopefully it's not snowing where you're at. Christy G says, I'm trying to figure out if Poshmark or eBay is better. I'll just say this, and this is the one thing that's stuck with me for 2 years, is what eBay does in 1 day, sales volume, Poshmark does in 1 year. eBay has over 100 million active buyers every day. That's it. Those two sentences go, okay. So as a business, do you want to be setting up your business like from a brick and mortar's point of view where there's more traffic so you can get more sales? Or do you want to set it up in an area where there's nothing going on? So for me as a used clothing reseller, I'm going to want to go where there's more buyers. But that's not to say Poshmark doesn't have its place. Like I said just a second ago, is like there are things that sell higher on Poshmark than they do on eBay. So maybe you have some really nice shoes that you picked up at the thrift and they're selling for 30 on eBay, but most people are selling those for 60 on Poshmark. Well, as a newer reseller and you're trying to maximize your profits, you're probably going to want to at least cross-list those, or you're going to want to at least try it on Poshmark, and if you're not getting nothing, then you're going to want to probably move to eBay. But those two things right there is like eBay is one of the first e-commerce platforms. They are still stuck in the 1990s. It seems like their website is still from 2001, but they still have the second most traffic from any e-commerce website in the world. It's Amazon by a lot, and then it's eBay. And then it's followed with those other reselling platforms. So just consider that. If you're wanting to build a 6-figure business, you're going to want to go where the money is going, the majority of the money. And that just did it for me, those two things. So you're going to have to make the right decision for your business. Christy says, Poshmark shipping is way easier to deal with. Yeah, I've heard that you could ship bunch of stuff for like up to 5 pounds, and it's like a flat rate shipping. So from the buyer's point of view, that's really nice too, because shipping can really add up on eBay, especially if you start getting into those multi-quantity orders. But also the other thing I've heard is if you sell like a t-shirt, that weighs 12 ounces that would normally ship for like $4 or $5 on eBay. I think that they get charged a priority rate on Poshmark. So those little things like that, I don't know. Maybe the buyer's going to want to be able to purchase more items than just one thing. That can be the reason why. But yeah, I've heard the shipping is easier to deal with, and just cut and dry and keep it going. Where eBay is way more confusing. Once you started getting into multi-quantity orders, you're going to have to send out invoices with discounted combined shipping. There's a lot more that goes into it when you ship out on eBay. But yeah, getting back into it, we had one more store to go over. This is Joy and Kate's store, and they're doing good. 1,800 items listed, good brands. Let's check their sell-through rate first. So at 1,800 items listed, a really kick-butt store and a really highly optimized store would be selling 18 items a day with 1,800 items, especially for used clothing. So 1,800 items, what are they selling? Today, no sales today. Yesterday, they sold two. They sold 2 items yesterday. They sold two items the day before, 3 items on the 21st, and 5 items on the 20th. So at 1,800 items, you're going to want to be able to see more sales than 1 or 2 or 3 sales a day. Nothing more demoralizing than building your store up to 5, 10, 20,000 items and you're getting 3 sales, 4 sales, 5 sales. You're going to really quickly start to wonder why you're not getting the sales that you should be getting with that amount of hooks in the water, So there is a lot of reasons why, but the main reason is going to be title, photos, price, and less about the description and product description. But if you just focus on your title and price, it's going to be 99% of the work right there. So let's look at why they're only getting 1 or 2, 3 sales a day with 1,800 items in their store. So I chose this listing. It is a pair of Merrell pants. So they have Merrell men's hiking pants, Select Shield SZ 32R, brown pre-owned. Okay, so right off the bat, they're Merrell pants. They're men's. So Merrell pants men's 32R. That's the foundation right there. That's that simple thing right there. Merrell pants men's 32R. And then you could put whatever you want. I would leave out SZ. I would leave out pre-owned. They already know it's pre-owned because they're shopping under the pre-owned category. You don't need to put that in your title. Use your title. Think of your title as a way to help your buyer find your item. And you have 80 characters to do it. So the first part of the structure of your title should be the same, every listing. The next, after size, would be choosing the keywords that are going to appropriately and accurately describe your item. As you master the art of reselling and get better, you're going to learn more keywords. And if you go back to your earliest listings, you're going to find, wow, my listing sucked. And that's probably why they're still there in my store after years, is because there's some structure and some pricing that needs to be worked on for that item to be found. So that little thing right there, fixing that will help your sales. The pricing, $34.89 for some Merrell pants, size 32. I would charge $24, $21.95. So that could probably be worked on a little bit. Your photos are okay. Looks like you're just hanging them. Front, back, zipper pockets, size tag, contents tag, and you had, about 8 photos? I would say at the bare minimum, at least have 8, 10, 12 photos. Because remember, if you're like ThreadUp and you have 2 photos of the front and the back, you may end up with 11 million items in your store and you're selling 100 a day. So try to take as many photos as you can. The next thing that sticks out to me is there's no measurements. So that's just going to open you up to a lot of returns. And when you are dealing with used clothing, there have been most likely washed at least once. And if you've washed clothing before, you're going to know that sizes change. Either they expand or they shrink. So you're going to want to put measurements, because it's very rare that like a pair of Levi's 32 that have been worn for 10 years, those measurements aren't going to be 32 anymore. So putting measurements in your photos is going to relate to the buyer. Hey, that says 32, but I got 30 on my waist and I got 28 on my inseam. So, just to help cut down on doesn't fit returns. They have excellent used condition for their condition description. That's better than nothing. Very good. And they have about 8 item specifics filled out. If you want your items to sell, go back and look into your item specifics and try to figure out what other item specifics can I put in for this item to help describe the item. If you look at your item specifics on your listings page, you will see, I'll just bring it up. We'll go into my drafts and we'll just see here. You will see the search volume in that item specific. So when people are searching with left-hand navigation, they're going to be, it shows you the volume. Fabric wash, there's 302,000 searches every day, just people looking for the fabric wash type. I don't know about you, but that's pretty good. So you might want to consider adding what is the fabric wash of your item, and accents, things like buttons, zipper, lightweight, things like that. 236,000 searches every day. So based on 30 days of data. Pattern is 160,000 searches just on pattern alone. Rise, features, and as you go down, you're going to be getting into the lower volume searches, and just really focus on the ones where people are really searching the most. Get that as a baseline and then work on the rest. Also, some people leave out the inseam and the waist measurement. I think you're doing yourself a disservice, because most people search by size on eBay. So if you're able to put the waist and the inseam as an item specific, you're going to, just by doing that, helping your store out to convert for more sales. So adding in a few more item specifics for this eBay or eBay reseller is going to really help their store, going from 1 or 2 sales a day to at least hitting that 5 to 10 mark. With 1,800 items in your store, you ideally want at least 0.5% a day selling through that store. And their description is decent. There's something that's good. 4 zippered pockets, zippers at ankles, please view photos for details, polyester. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what I would work on, and we're just really want to talk about the basics. Another seller does not accept returns. So I didn't know if you knew this, but buyers can still return your item even if you accept no returns. eBay wants customer satisfaction. And every single business, except for St. Vincent de Paul with their electronics, they allow returns. So you want to be able to have some type of return policy. Not only doing this, but it's going to really help know that the buyer can see that you trust your item. By putting, I have 60-day free returns. That means that I have 100% confidence in this listing of my item, that I'm accurately describing it, and that if you don't like it and I didn't accurately describe it, I will take it back and refund you full price plus shipping. So that's why I would be offering returns, is you're giving that buyer more confidence to buy with you and in your store. So consider doing it if you don't have some type of returns going on. Going back to the basics: title, price, and then work on your photos and your condition and your product description. But just working on your title and price, that can be a year-long thing, and that will take you far in your eBay journey, working on those little basics. Going back to the store, like if you're looking at a lot of their stuff, I mean, they're putting pre-owned first. Putting pre-owned on a lot of these listings. No wonder they're selling 1 or 2 items a day. I would never put pre-owned in my title. And look, this title has 6 words in it. So, if you want buyers to find your items and buy your items, you want to fill out your title. That's what we're trying to do here. eBay gives you that much, so you want to use the maximum as much as you can. So, for example, like if you look at the title structure for my listings, they're all going to look the same. It's the same. Oakley sweater, Great Northwest, Indigo pants, Woolrich pants, Madewell jeans, Old Navy jeans, Great Northwest pants, Zara pants, Gap pants, Forever 21 pants, Lucky Brand jeans, Miss Me jeans. So it's the same. Very boring, right? But when you're selling similar off your own listings, that's going to make it easier for you. And it's going to enable you to go from 5 listings a day to 20 listings a day because you have the basics mastered. And it will allow you to go faster. You just need to get those basics down and do them on a repetitive basis. So you don't need to think outside the box here. Maybe this person is thinking that they can try and hack the algorithm by doing titles that are all over the place. But then they do a title here as Levi's 515 women's jeans. That's great. So just copy that. Polo Ralph Lauren cardigan. So instead of putting cardigan, I would actually put sweater, and I would use cardigan as a keyword down in further along in the title. But yeah, hopefully that can give you some insight because at 1,800 items, that's a lot of work. They've sold 50,000 items on eBay, but they may be on eBay since 1999. So, we're trying to get our stores as optimized as possible so we can really see a higher sell-through rate of the items that we're picking up and looking to resell. Okay, Sunny's Good eBay. We will take a look at your store. Thanks for watching. Hope you are getting value. So, Sunny's Good. Okay, we'll try something else. All right, Sunny's Goods. I like the banner. You got the logo. You have the branding. That's very good. You have 3,300 items in your store. Let me know what you are, average sales. How long have you been selling on eBay? Give me kind of like some info to work with. Just right off the bat, it looks really good. 3,300 items. Let's check on how many you're selling. Of course, you could just drop it in the chat, but let's just see how things are going for you. So today, you've already sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items right on. Yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9. So 9 items. Yeah, so let's look at what type of items you have. And what's kind of like your listing habit look like? Are you buying bulk? Are you sourcing from thrift stores? So you got some Torrid, Forever 21, you got a hat, Nike, J. Crew, Uniqlo, Lululemon, Old Navy, Uniqlo, Universal Thread. That's a Target brand, so it might be a little high, just in my opinion, but and then just looking at some of your titles, Torrid shirt, women's 2XL. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Forever 21, I would put shirt and then use Dragon Ball Z as a keyword. But so far, so good. Nike shirt, women's large. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That's good. J. Crew shirt, women's extra small. Very good. Uniqlo shirt, men's large. This is very good. This is great. You have already setting up your store for success by having the right title structure. And now it could be things like, well, I have 3,300 items in my store. Why am I not seeing 33 sales a day? So let's try to figure that out. And the next step would be, looks like you have some good title structure here. Your keywords look good. Your photos look great. And now it'd be going back down to pricing. And what does your consistency look like? How are you, how many items a day are you listing? How long have you been listing that, in your listing goal? It can take months of listing the same item every day to be able to really engage the algorithms to tell eBay like, hey, I'm serious. I've been doing this for 90 days straight. And now it's time for eBay to give you the impressions to what you're listing. Bobby says, thanks, Bo, for all your great tips. You're welcome, Bobby. Thanks for watching and good to see you. SS says, so you've been doing it 1.5 years full time, 1.7 conversion rate, on average sell about 10 a day, and you list 22. Cool. So you source from local sellers, nothing in bulk. Looking to get into buying bulk, you need to increase your sales per day. You've been listing 22 a day for the month of March, and before you're at 15. Okay. How long were you at 15 a day? Because if you're selling about 10 a day and you just increased to 22 and you were at 15, that's great. That is, you really want to be able to, if you're listing 10 a day and you're only selling 2 a day, does it make sense to increase your listing goal if you're only listing or selling 2 a day? You want to be able to increase those sales before you increase your listings. So it's going to really affect any cash flow that's going to be running through your business if you're constantly increasing your listings and if you're not seeing an increase in your sales. So if you're listing 15 a day and you're selling 10 a day, that is great. Then I would feel comfortable going to that next step, which you probably did. You probably were like, all right, I want to get more sales. I'm doing 15 a day. Maybe you didn't been doing 15 a day for a year. Now it's time to take that next step. I would never encourage someone going from 15 a day to 40 a day, because not only is that going to really affect your cash flow, but it's going to be a lot harder for you to. eBay takes time, and you're not going to see 40 sales a day. It's going to slowly increase over time. So you want to be able to have the algorithm catch up to your listing goal, and that may even take years. I list 45 items a day, and I've been doing that for 8 months, but I only sell on average between 25 and 35 items a day, and that's been 8 months of listing 45 items a day. So it takes time. It takes effort, and I would never suggest, tripling your listing goal or even doubling it if you're not seeing a constant incline of sales. So you went to 22 a day, and you're going to probably want to stick with 22 a day for some time before you see from your average of 10 a day to increase, and then for you too is how can you get quality items, because you went from listing 15 a day to 22 a day. Well, that's an extra 50 items a week that now you have to source. So scaling while maintaining quality is one of the most difficult things. So you may need to do a little more brand research and a little bit more leveling up as far as what is in abundance in your area. But I can tell you already, you have the basics set up for you to be successful, and now you just don't want to grow too fast. So your photos look good, your title structure looks good, and you have measurements in your photos. That's really good. And you have a coupon. Are you doing a daily coupon, or is this something that just sits for about a week and then you have to redo it? I suggest doing a daily coupon because it is... I found that, as your coupon goes, say you have a coupon for a month, maybe the first few days it's kicking butt, but by week 2 or 3, you're just finding less and less people are using that coupon. I just found that like it kind of got more and more stale as the coupon went on. So I do a daily coupon. It takes like 15 seconds to set up, and it could be helpful for you to try that. I don't know if you're doing that. You said, yes, I need to figure out why I'm not selling more per day. Also, too, I don't know if you're doing this. Do you run a markdown sale for older inventory? Anything that is older than 120 days in my store, I mark it down at 20 to 30%. And then if it's still in my store for another 30 days and it hits the 150-day mark, on the website, it goes into a 30 to 40% markdown sale. And as it gets older, it just keeps getting 10% more discounted until it's 90% off. So that is something that you probably want to implement in your store. I don't know what you're doing for older items, because after 90 to 120 days on eBay, eBay will start to suppress that item, and it may be on page 9, page 12, and page 20. And I'll tell you this right now, no one is going to page 20 to buy your Gap pair of jeans. You need to be able to start to engage with these older listings. What can you go in? Maybe fix a title. Maybe do that markdown sale. Maybe lower the price. That's why I suggest the markdown sale, because it's a bulk way. You have 3,300 items in your store. It's a bulk way to take 500 items at a time and mark them down 25%. And those old 500 items you just marked down get a new life, get a new little boost within search, that it shows to eBay that, hey, I'm taking the proactive approach to initiating change in my store, and I want to get these items moving. Remember, we're not in the storage business, we're in the money-making business. And as we grow our store, we want to be able to see growth in sales, not just be storing a bunch of items. So you said, what do you suggest I do to increase sales per day, other than allowing time to catch up with my listing goal? Thanks for all the help. You're welcome, and thanks for watching. This is the mission of the channel, is to help along your reseller journey so you can go further, faster on eBay. And this is why I do this, because if I was just starting on eBay, learning about titles, learning about pricing, there's so much information out there that can really get you almost paralyzed to the point of like, well, where do I start? And you really need to start with titles and pricing. Those basics right there are the two contributors to why your item may not be selling. So right now, it looks to me like you've done well with your titles, and now you may need to go in and double check pricing. Everyone's business is different. Everyone has different margins. What can you allow, and what are you comfortable with your average sale? What is your average sales price? What is your average profit per item? And really clue in on like, am I overpricing these items a little too much? And am I picking up items that are just basically in saturated categories? And if that's the case, no matter the price, there's only a certain amount of demand within J. Crew button-ups that you could price it at $1 and it still might not sell, because there's only so much demand in a highly saturated category. So always be refining brand knowledge. So it sits and I redo it. When you say daily coupon, do you mean to buyer groups or public? Yes, well, both. Buyer groups, I believe every 2 to 3 days you're able to send out your coupon to previous buyers and followers of your store. So that is just a good habit to set up. But another good habit to set up is just doing a daily coupon and having it expire the next day. So I have my coupon expire at 7 a.m. every day. So after 7 a.m., I start up a new coupon and have it expire the next day at 7 a.m. And by doing that, it's like a fresh new coupon every day. And wow, people are shocked. And I believe I have gotten emails from, if you're watching a store or you're watching an item, they will get an email saying, "Don't act fast" or "act now. This coupon ends within 25 minutes or 40 minutes." So even people that are watching in your store or have you as a saved seller, they will get that email and notification of that coupon being expired, even though you're just going to redo the coupon in an hour or two. So that could be another incentive to doing a daily coupon. And you said, yes, I run markdown sales. I have a section for it. Yeah. So how old of items do you start that markdown sale? And kind of how is that process for you? So you have a 20% coupon, Uniqlo Show, Salt Life, Billie Eilish, Zara dress, lots of Uniqlo, Bonobos, Zara shirt, new with tags. So if it's new with tags, instead of putting new at the start, I'd put either new at the back end of the title or NWT, either or, but I would never put it at the start. So Dickies shorts, $18.99, and you offer returns. Let's see, minor flaw as shown. I'd probably increase the font size just a bit on that title because it is a little hard to see even on the computer. Not like that's going to be a game changer, but it will be helpful. So, and you got measurements. Abercrombie and Fitch. How is your process for sending offers to watchers? Are you on top of it? Are you checking that a lot? And what percentage do you send to those watchers? You're going to want to send those offers higher or the same as your coupon. So if you have a 20% off coupon, you're going to want to send at least a 20% off offer or more to incentivize the buyer. Nothing worse than sending out an offer that's lower than your coupon. That's almost insulting, right? It's like, hey, I have a 30% off coupon. Here's 10% off. It's most likely going to not convert the buyer. In my case, I've never done that, so I don't know. But just keep that in mind when you're sending those offers out. And what is your breaking point for getting offers? What is your, are you accepting all offers? For me, I've been accepting all offers. I'm looking to move items. I pay 15 cents, 20 cents an item, 50 cents an item, and I accept it all. I don't even care. I'm here. I have no emotional attachment to my items. I sold a brand new with tags DKNY denim jeans, had them listed for $31. I sold them for $10 plus shipping. I don't care. I am those special. These items are not special to me, so therefore if I can turn 25 cents into $10 plus shipping, I'm gonna do that. I'm alive today. I'm here for some of the money all the time. I'm not here for all of the money some of the time. So what business model are you approaching your strategy with? Everyone's different. Maybe someone has a Costco-sized warehouse like ThreadUp, and they're waiting for all the money. And that just doesn't work for me. I'm looking to multiply money as fast as possible so I could take the profit from my item and go buy more bales, go buy more tractor trailers full of bales. I'm looking to buy more items. So everyone's different. So sometimes people get offended at 50% off offers. Not me. I'm happy. I'm ready to go. I don't spend, my cost of goods is less than $1 this year. Last year was $1.75. So by cutting my cost of goods by nearly in half, I'm ready to rock and roll. You can make me an offer right now for $1, and I'll probably accept it. So don't do that, though, because I'll counter it. Tammy McDonald says, fixing titles as I watch and listen. Thank you. Yeah, very helpful. There's been so many cases where people have gone in and fixed their oldest titles on their oldest listings, and they go, wow, it's sold in one day. Just doing that. And I suggest going to your oldest listings first, because those are going to be your worst listings. Those are going to be the listings that eBay's suppressing the most, because eBay's going, these Old Navy jeans have been on my website for 1 year. They're going on page 900. So by going back, fixing the title, fixing the pricing, it's huge. Right off the bat, that's already showing eBay like, whoa, you actually put in some good keywords that are going to help the buyer find this item. So SS says, I usually send 25 to 30 offers to watchers. I send them out about every hour. Awesome. That's good. Yeah, keeping on top of it. That's really good, because sometimes if you're not on top of it, the buyer is, probably moving on to other things. Maybe they bought that same item on Amazon. So just getting it, so they're like, boom, get that offer as soon as they can after clicking that little heart button. You're going to want to send them an offer. You said, I'm thinking my prices are too high. My cost of goods are usually between 2 to 5 on average, so the lowest I could accept is 10. With that, I will still be profiting, even if it's a very small margin. Christy G says, that's a lot of good info. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. So yeah, SS, that's just something you got to consider, as you're continuing to grow your store. You just made the jump from 15 listings to 22. But do not be discouraged, because at listing 15 a day and we're selling 10 a day, that's good. That's great. That's better than most. Something that could be like really discouraging is listing 15 a day and you're selling 2, 3, and you're wondering, oh man, I'm hoping this can work out for me. So this is why the growing slow method is the way to go, especially on eBay. eBay really just wants to get to know you, your habits as a reseller. They track everything you do. They know when you're sleeping. They know how long it takes when you answer messages. They know how long it takes for you to send out an offer. They know when an offer is sent to you, if it's a good offer, and if you decline or make a counteroffer off of that. They know the market data. They know when an offer comes to you, if it's a good or bad offer, and they're seeing what you do. So that's crazy. That's scary. But also, this is why we want to grow slow on eBay. Take your time. And if you don't quit, you won't lose. So keep on with your vision. People would often think, and this would make sense, right? Like, if I list more, I'll sell more. That's like half true, because you're going to be picking up maybe more items that are less quality and less in demand. So, really grow slow, master the basics. You mastered 15 a day. You went to 22 a day. Stick with that for 4 to 6 to 8 months. And now maybe you will go from that 10 a day to 15 a day in sales. And now you'll be able to see in your business, now I'm ready to go to 25 listings a day. I'm ready to go to 30 listings a day. But make sure you increase your sales per day before you make that next jump in your listings. And start considering, to lowering your cost of goods is going to be the way to go, so you can sell more items at lower prices. And as you grow, as anything grows, any store, that is how it works. Costco, Amazon, Kohl's, all these places, they are volume-based businesses. They make pennies on the dollar. So as your store grows, you're going to need to be able to source your inventory maybe more in bulk. Underrated things like calling junk removal services. Hey, what are you doing with your used clothing? Where is it going? Calling mom and pop thrift stores. What are you doing with your items that are long tail items that are being pulled off the rack, the extra donations? Where are those going? Making those 2 calls will be game changers for your business and how to source. Thinking outside the box. Everyone goes to thrift stores. Everyone goes to Goodwill outlets. Well, do things that other people aren't doing, unconventional ways. That can be a big difference for you to maybe accept more aggressive offers. Christy says, I've been doing it regularly for 3 months and average 5 sales a day so far on Poshmark. That's great. Yeah, people have great success on Poshmark, and there's no, YouTube's filled with like, oh my God, you list on Poshmark, that's evil, or like, it's just do what works for you. Find the strategy that works for you and go all in on it. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, leave it in the comment section. And if you got value, smash the like. I'll be doing these once a week, coming on here like a live Q&A, reviewing eBay seller stores, and kind of just really helping you go further faster, taking that next step in your eBay or reseller journey and mastering those basics that will take you the distance. If you're wanting to get to know about the eBay platform and you're wondering, why things aren't working out for you, you can check it out, linked in the description down below, where I do offer a free 7-day trial of my eBay coaching program. I offer an eBay store review within that, a reseller spreadsheet, as well as exclusive guest interviews with yesterday we had Cheryl Miller with Simplified Accounting going over taxes, how to go about doing your taxes, and steps you should take to maximize your return, things like that. Join a community of about 18 people where we meet Monday through Friday, 1 hour a day via Zoom, helping you put the same system and processes that helped me achieve over $178,000 in sales last year on eBay selling basic clothing. So check it out, link below. And then after the 7 days, it's just $1 a day after that. And if you feel like you're not getting value, you can just cancel. Totally fine with me. So yeah, would love to see you there. If you want to see what else is selling in our eBay store and you're wondering well, what am I even selling? You could check out this video here where it goes more in detail on the types of items I'm picking up, what is selling in our store, and what they are selling for. I hope you all have a blessed rest of the day and take care.